Police began the hunt for the 26-year-old after the bodies of the wife and two daughters of the BBC sports commentator were found in Hertfordshire. The emergency services were called to a house in Ashlyn Close, Bushey, shortly before 7 o'clock yesterday evening. The three women were found with serious injuries and were pronounced dead at the scene. Police had told the public not to approach the suspect, Kyle Clifford, as he could be carrying a crossbow. Within the last hour, the police confirmed that he has been detained at a cemetery in Enfield in North London. Our reporter Harry Fawcett is in Bushey now. Harry.
Well, Christian, whenever a serious crime is visited on a community, there will be shock, there will be sorrow, outrage, perhaps fear. All of that more intense here because of the sheer nature of the crime that took place, and only compounded during the day as more details have been coming out. That three women from the same family were killed in this way, allegedly with the use of a crossbow, that they were the daughters and wife of the BBC sports commentator John Hunt, that the suspect escaped, and that there was this enormous manhunt for him. And as you've been saying, just in the last hour or so, that manhunt has come to an end in Enfield, where the man, Kyle Clifford, 26, a former soldier, was said to have been from. It was at a cemetery there where there was a massive police operation, police saying that he was detained, that he's being treated for injuries in detention, and that there were no shots fired during his detention. Police saying this is an incredibly complex operation, and that they're grateful for the overwhelming number of calls that they received during the course of that manhunt. Back here, though, the attention very much has been on the three women who were killed. We spoke to one woman who had been visited by one of the daughters in her capacities as a beautician, especially during the COVID lockdown. Real sorrow there. People talking to each other about the prospect of coming home to your family home to find what had happened. And it happened just a few steps away on this quiet suburban close. Inside one of these near identical houses on this quiet Hertfordshire street, a crime almost unimaginable in its scale and nature. Three women, a mother and her two adult daughters, killed inside their home in what police are calling a targeted attack.
Police were called to a property in Ashlyn Close just before 7 p.m. last night. Officers attended alongside colleagues from the East of England Ambulance Service and, on arrival, found three women with serious injuries. Sadly, despite their best efforts, the women, who are believed to be related, died a short time later at the scene.
The women killed were 25-year-old Louise Hunt, her 28-year-old sister Hannah, and their mother Carol, who was 61. It was Carol's husband, John Hunt, the BBC racing commentator, who reportedly called police after discovering his fatally injured wife and daughters when he got home from work.
The Irish Hennessy, Carlingford Lock!
A familiar voice for decades, other racing broadcasters and people from within the sport have offered support and condolences.
The Gold Cup winner back in third place.
The family's neighbours left stunned that something so terrible could have happened just yards away.
It's horrific. I have to go to work. We have to do our day-to-day job, but it does affect you, and it's at the back of your mind. It's right on your doorstep.
She's told to go inside there because there might be a man on the loose there with the crossbow. So we all went upstairs and kept on popping our head like most of the neighbours there through the windows kind of thing there, so a bit of window watching.
I mean, what was that like on a normal evening, being told there's a man with a crossbow nearby?
It's unnerving.
Police put out an alert for this man, 26-year-old Kyle Clifford, possibly armed with a crossbow and other weapons, warning the public not to approach him and call 999. The Ministry of Defence has confirmed he was a serving member of the army, saying he left after a short period of service in 2022. Police say he's from Enfield in North London, where an address was raided earlier today. Locals tell us that the man made his escape down this alleyway south from the murder scene to this street where there was a car waiting for him. They say that he either drove himself away or was driven away, and that the scene was captured by a video doorbell. We've had it confirmed by one neighbour that they have passed those recordings on to the police. The Sun newspaper today obtained exclusive footage that appears to show the suspect leaving the crime scene carrying something concealed under material. A short walk away at his home, local county councillor Lawrence Brass says he heard the helicopters and started getting messages about a major incident. His wife and daughter, he says, were clients of Hannah Hunt, who worked as a beautician.
They were expecting the daughter, and she hadn't turned up for work, and they were wondering why she was late. And of course, it's transpired why. And that really hit hard.
This evening, there was major police activity at a cemetery in the Enfield area. Armed police and an emergency helicopter involved. The scale of it all, testament to the fact that finding the alleged triple killer had become a national police priority. And the statement from the Hertfordshire Police this evening reads in part that this investigation is moving at pace and formal identification of the victims is yet to take place. I have to say there was just a few minutes ago a funeral van that went in to the cul-de-sac behind us here. Police also saying that there continues to be an incredibly difficult time for the victims' family, asking that their privacy is maintained. Certainly that is being reflected here, along with tributes being laid in terms of flowers here at the scene, and 2 local churches also being opened for vigils tonight.